What up, my freaks? Ruinous Insight here with part 16 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Grimgor Ironhide campaign. So as we saw last time, we had our debut battle for Grom de Ponch, and though it was a nice battle, we had to delete Grom immediately after to reset his skills such as they are not still screwed over by what the AI did to the Lord, expecting that with any other of the legendary lords that we managed to confederate. In addition to that, we're, beat to their senses, beat senseless and then to their senses. Then we were able to attack Elf Town with Gorkill, get stabbed by the trolls, getting their revenge against those elves and destroying the place, and pretty much breaking the Continental Exarchate, who has one settlement remaining, and frankly, it's under siege by some rebels. It's not going to survive. We are looking to declare war on Reichland shortly, and probably on these dwarfs as well, but we do have to assemble the Orc Vengers before we do that. So we're going to need to get them a little bit closer. Nobber in particular needs to trade forces and stuff with Gouger. Anyway, I don't believe that there's actually anything to do in this particular turn, because we ended the episode right after the battle for Castle Brienne here, which means we're free to just skip along. Outpost upgrade available. Which outpost are you? You're a Skaven outpost, huh? At 4K it's a little bit steep right now. We're actually negative, it's just that we're raiding right now, but the second we aren't, it's gonna get worse. So let's end the turn, and while the turn is ending, that's when I can now waste time talking about the threshold, the engagement threshold, which was once again reached, and once again the episode will be an hour long, and once again the offer does stand. 250 likes and 40 comments, and the next episode will follow suit to be an hour as well. In addition to all that, the vote for the next campaign is currently ongoing in the community tab of the channel. It is for which beastman... Ooh, leadership, that's gonna hurt the trolls. It is for which Beastman legendary lord will be used in the next campaign, though by the looks of it currently Torox is very much in the lead. We've seen a couple of these votes suddenly stolen by another option before, so there is still that to consider. And you may as well, even if you're not interested in that, keep an eye out on the announcements in the community tab, as there will be other things there. Probably this week. Anyway, Grimgor, let's start with you. Now, I was going to send you southward to the Glade of Eternal Midnight. They're currently at war with a couple of factions, including the Neck Snappers tribe, and I really want to get Grimgor to fight some Wood Elves. I think they might provide us something of a challenge, at least. You're also at war with the Neck Snappers. Huh. And we could, instead of jumping down to Lendelling, go after this guy right here with his stack. And he is stuck in an outpost. Black Orcs are going to have a little bit of a difficult time with this. What's the speed on the Glade Guard? 42 and 34 on the Black Orcs, meaning these guys can run and they can fire whilst moving, and the Black Orcs wouldn't be able to catch them. Alright, well, that sounds like it could certainly give Grimgor a challenge, so we could attack you and then loop back around to grab Turin and the Summer's Fall Fort. I don't really care about those factions, just that, well, they're here, and they don't dislike us, but I still think that we should probably destroy them. Alright, Grimgor, we're gonna attack with you in a second. Let's move everybody else first, because there's a few other important things to do. First of all, Spite, and wait. Gouger Legbiter. I may have to slightly screw you over by forcing you to grab Castle Grunset here. About a few, well, yeah, this is what we're gonna do. Alright, go here. We're gonna grab that, and then we're gonna grab Castle Aquitaine. Let's hope that we don't get the plague, but there's a very decent likelihood that we will. And if we do, some of the things here may die. Actually, that may not be great. Are you gonna get the plague immediately? No, not this turn. Okay, so you got a Swindler, that's great for you. And settlement receives plague, yeah, but that's normal. You're gonna leave the settlement, you're gonna go into Raiden Camp, you're gonna hopefully get Castle Aquitaine, and then book it on out of there immediately, so as to not get the plague. Spite Blood Reaper, you You're supposed to grab a couple of islands, so grab this island, that'll resolve it real quick. A little bit of tiny damage, barely any damage to speak of, to be frank. Your fightiness is getting screwy again. Alright, fine, just eat the captives. I'd prefer the cash, but frankly, we're making pretty good post-battle loot cash at this point, so it's not a huge deal. Snotling Scavenger for Hack. Your name is just Hack? Okay, I'm gonna rename this guy Slash because, you know, Slash, there we go. Hack and Slash, perfect. What? Huh? Did I press cancel? No, I didn't. I thought it, disappeared for a second. And obviously, Hack, you are not going to need these Snotling Scavengers. Alright, then, Spite, you're gonna move back to the Remnants of Battle. Then we need you to get around in such a way that you don't get the plague again. Got sunken chest this time. Hey, wax sealed rations. Sadly on one of our, or probably our cheapest army, but oh well. I would like you... Okay, wait, can we go to a place that doesn't currently have the plague? This is Castle Brienne. This is Grouse. Alright, I guess we try to go here, to this territory. Hopefully these guys are not near enough to spread the plague. Nearby settlements or armies. This may have been an error. Well, let's just hope. Let's just hope that they have to be in the same province. Oh, well, and quella animosity there. Yeah, I'm really having trouble with the fightiness in this campaign. I think because of the distances, it's been very difficult to get it up to decent levels. It's been stuck on level 2 or tier 2 for pretty much the entire campaign. For most armies, anyway. Anyway, let's keep moving. Ugh, the Recruiter and Krega Beard take it, don't need to move. Arachnic Spider Claw, you're gonna quickly take a VFAT. And that'll resolve that as well. No plague to be afraid of here. And then you can loop it back around towards the dwarfs right after this. Ooh, you still don't have your spider shrine, unfortunately. Alright, also, since we named Slash there, we may as well name a few. You are going to be Gobble Gook. There we go. Should we get another Goblin Big Boss in Grom's army? I will consider it. They wouldn't really be all that helpful in buffing the pump wagons, which makes me think, But on the other hand, it will be still an all-Gobbo army, so, you know, still possibility of it. And you know what? We have our new boar army, and we can get a few more names in there as well. Okay, let's do some of the boars. Rename. WAAAGH. Fantastic name. Yeah, I'll just do the big ones. I don't want to do too many, but, you know, the Bacon Brigade. Also a great name. Piggin' Out. And let's do one more. Let's do... Which one do I like? Big Pigs. There we go. Alright. And we could probably do some more, but for now, let's continue. And, we can actually move you while we're at it. You can go into Nun's Stance and go out to grab that Sea Corpse. I imagine that we don't have any... Yeah. No bosses that I particularly like here. And you can approach a carcass and auto-resolve this real quick, get a little bit of XP for those new boars, and your fightiness probably doesn't matter either, so just ransom the captives here. You're gonna heal up to full. And then you're gonna start sailing. We'll recruit whatever else... Ooh, free Book of Ashur. We'll recruit whatever else we need when we reach Bretonnian shores again. What's a new name? We need to rename all of Bretonnia, as in... it doesn't really exist anymore. Something orky. Something nice and orky. Somebody come up with something. Nubber, you have several things to do. First of all, we're going to jump you here. Like so. Nubber, you're going to move right there. Oh, it's going to count as trespassing, eh? You know what? I'm not sure I care enough to not, so you're going to go here anyway. Then, what we need to do is transfer to you. Okay, these guys are just going to swap units. Alright, fine, let's do that. Then you are going to swap the 2 Orc Boar Chariots and the Snotling Pump Wagon Spiky Rollers to replace the Logie Bogies, Spore Splodas, and the 3 Goblin Wolf Chariots, which are going to go to Grom because, frankly, they're useless here. And like so. This will put you at 19 units. We're not going to raid these guys, I guess, or they'll get, you know, pissed for some reason. I can't even leave the territory. Yeah, we'll get 1 more Orc Boar Chariot here. It'll be a nice mix of Gobos, Snotlings, and various kinds of Orcs, so we just need to transfer the other Orc Boar Chariot, assuming it doesn't die from attrition from this army once we swap out. Alright, that looks good. Alright, a little bit more and then we'll attack. Or kill Gutstaba. Ooh, I was going to have you attack Marienburg, but now I'm a little bit concerned that we may want to destroy this Dwarfen army. There are other Dwarfen armies nearby, though. And then you'll probably move and attack something. You can't actually really reach anything, though. Maybe we could avoid it. I wish I could see what else was up there. Wait, do we have a hero nearby? I think we do, but not one where we, not one where we want one, let's say. The question is, can we risk attacking these guys? I'd really love to see the trolls take on the dwarfs. Great leadership versus non-existent leadership. Seems like the thing to do, and they're in march stance at that. I can always do Marienburg next turn. Potentially. Oh, also what we do need to do before I forget, Salfin. We're gonna trade you to these guys. Salfin, like so, for the military alliance, and oh. I guess we could get them to declare war on Bordeaux, Errant, and the Great Orthodoxy, like so. Doesn't really help us that. Oh, wow, they're willing to give us a lot of money. Fine. Yeah, let's do that. Wait, actually, you know what? The Great Orthodoxy might be a better option. Now, they'll both be dead in a few turns. Probably won't make any kind of difference. And just take all the money. Damn. Give us all your money for this. Works for me. Alright, and the reason I really wanted that military lens, ooh, minus 1100, was to upgrade this so that we can get some more Hydras in this army. Beautiful. Alright, I've talked enough. Grimgor, it is time for you to hopefully get a challenge of a battle. So, we're going to do several things. First of all, Scram de Ruffy, we're going to level you. If this is liable to be a challenge, we're definitely going to need to treat it as such. And let's actually get our levels going. Alright, Scarred Vet for you. You will probably get hit by a lot of ranged enemies. You have pretty much everything we want. I guess we could start getting you into green blood here. Charge bonus plus 20% for Savage Orcs, Trolls, Rogue Idols, Wyverns, and Giants, eh? Savage Orcs, Trolls. We should probably put a couple of these in the Troll army then. Get them plus 40%. Wouldn't be too bad. Alright, Gork's Favor for you then. Or do we get the... Nah, yeah, just Gork's Favor. I don't want him to get insta-killed by some archers. Mither for you. Now we have an active Hex, and that reduces armor and speed, though the speed will help here in particular to hopefully catch a few of those elven units. And lastly, you're gonna get into Blade Shield. Just double checking. You need Dodgy Geezer as well. Get that missile resistance. Alright. And you know what? The Immortals... I think we should give the Immortals armor. Frankly, we probably don't need that much in the way of terror. But it kind of feels wrong not to have the Immortals with the Immortals armor, you know? Yeah. Alrighty, Grimgor. We need you to join war against the... or what are these guys called? Kavarok. Alright, you. Come here. Join war. Kavarok. Yes. And give us all your money. Also do like a non... Wait, they actually want a non-aggression pact. I don't really care about trespassing on their territory, though. Probably just be easier to destroy them rather than confederate them. You know, just do this. Let's not get any agreements going. We'll just defeat him and force confederate him. Actually, speaking of... Nah, Bone Rattler's still not into it, but oh well. And that's okay. You, Grimgor, get out of the settlement and strike, if you please. While begins, and go. Alright, let's see what we have here. Now, the defenses in the place aren't too much, but it's the piles of units outside of a big tree that I'm concerned about, and the fact that we won't be able to catch them with the very slow-moving Black Orcs. This is the big limitation of this army, except unlike a dwarf army, which would also have plenty of artillery and range units, we have none. No cav, no range, and just piles of Black Orcs. Let's get to it. Alright, so this isn't quite the open field battle I was envisioning. In fact, this one is somewhat close to being a choke point battle, and thus I would say definitely, well, at least mostly in our favor. The issue for us is going to be the fact that we're basically going to have, what, maybe 4 or 5 units. What the heck are you? Okay, whatever. The formation will, well, reform. But yeah, we'll only be able to get about 4 or 5 units of Black Orcs abreast of each other, meaning that about half our army, in fact more than half our army, will be unable to immediately engage in combat until we break through the enemy lines and charge through. Now, that's the disadvantage. The advantage is that the enemy doesn't have much distance that they could run to actually try to get away from us. What they do have is an absolutely massive amount of arrows, and Grimgor is eating approximately, I don't know, several thousands every few seconds. That said, he does pop the Blood-Forged armor, popping his armor up to 1 or 200, and with Foe Seeker, he's moving reasonably fast, though this is one of those rare times that it would be nice if he had a mount. That is a lot of arrows, and it looks like the enemy really wants to assassinate him. I do find that interesting because clearly the enemy targeted Grimgor on purpose, and the 2 Black Orc big bosses were moving up ahead of Grimgor, and by virtue of being on those boars and being much faster, but all of the AI units decided to go for Grimgor instead, which is actually better for us, mostly because, well, with that absolutely ridiculous amount of armor he has, he's gonna be just fine. Looks like he's dropping by about 1 HP per arrow for most of the enemy attacks. Anyway, here we go. We move in. The enemy's going to counteract us a little bit with that Shield of Thorns. We're going to get an Headbutt in and a Fate of Biuna together, or just a Spirit Leech. Spirit Leech to start off, and a Fate of Biuna, I'm sure, will follow. The rest of our army is moving on in as well, getting ready to engage. There is a purple Son of Zerez going down. I know. I keep saying I hate this spell, and I keep using it, but this is one of those situations where I thought it could come in at least a little bit handy, as we place the Fate of Biuna essentially on the other side of these 3 units. It prevented them from running away, as they would have to run into the vortex, and thus allowed us to kill a few more. Otherwise, we are, well, this battle is going pretty much as expected. The enemy are backing off, and we continue to charge forward as much as we can and do damage while we do so. A nice arm smack, or I don't know, clap attack there from the Biggin. Though it does look like the enemy is trying to focus it down a little bit. It's already lost about 15, maybe closing in on 20% HP, or at least it will be by now. Dryads are now reinforcing, as the enemy primarily was trying to fight us with... Okay, wow, that effect makes it invisible or impossible to see anything. Yeah, so the Dryads have finally moved in to join the fray, as well as at first it was only the various Glade Guard and Deepwood Scouts, whatever range units the enemy had, but now we forced them back. Here comes the Tree Man, looking absolutely tiny. My lord, are the rogue idols ridiculously huge. I mean, the Tree Man looks just so minuscule by comparison. It's actually pretty ridiculous. The Rogue Idol's head is about the size, if not bigger, than the body. Damn. And of course, so we do have the giant whacking away at whatever it can reach and trying to get to that tree man as well, but I think the tree man is just not going to have a good day here. Otherwise, continuing to move forward, a unit of biggins has managed to peel away from the rest of the army and is charging forth to try to engage as many of those enemy units as possible. And of course, so are our units of Black Orcs with shields. They led the army as the front runners, vanguard, whatever, and they will continue trying to engage all those enemy range units, as that's what their shields are for. Alrighty, looks like another shield of thorns from the enemy. They're trying to reflect our melee damage back on us, but I think the Black Orcs can handle it. Really, the range is much more threatening than the Shield of Thorns, plus the relatively small bit of Dryad spam. Looks like few enough enemy range units remain that are unengaged. A few still back here, though another one just got hit by those biggins. And it looks like one more still firing, and the Sisters of Thorn trying to get away, and it would be nice to engage them and prevent them from firing as well, as that lethal toxin of theirs, or toxic venom rather, is quite threatening. As the longer they're on the field, the more they're applying that and dishing out additional damage. On the bright side, though, it does look like the enemy army is pretty much overwhelmed. The enemy tree man is pretty much done here as well. And I do believe the battle should be just about ours. Alright, 90% balance of power in our favor. I think the enemy lord went down in the press of the of our attack somewhere in there, but he got overwhelmed so fast that I barely even noticed it. Frankly, from a tactical perspective, it's basically a choke point battle, so you just rush forward into the choke point and hope that you win, and well, I mean, Black Orcs do damn well in a choke point. Close victory, and probably a little bit of damage, but let's find out how much. Alrighty, well, the losses were ostensibly quite minimal, but it was a close victory. Our biggin, did take about half of its HP in concentrated fire, though fortunately the opening salvos were essentially wasted on Grimgor, who survived them quite nicely. We did get 45k damage on the Gitstomp, and that was probably by far the biggest performer there, although 27, nearly 28k on the Immortals wasn't too bad. 18k and 200 kills on Get to the Choppers, pretty high as well. Alright, and oh, I never named the giants. Oh, but I have so many giant names. Alright, I'll do it later. We already named some this episode. Occupy the place. Alright. Alright, it's gonna be interesting, and it's interesting to see how the miners' settlements, when they have a stack in them, are actually going to be the bigger threat as compared to the major settlements of the Wood Elves, or at least so far. Field battles are going to be to our detriment. That's probably going to be the case. Funnily enough, that particular field battle, it didn't give the enemy a lot of ways to run, but at the same time, it did force us into a bottleneck as well, as we couldn't quite fan out. So, yeah, interesting. Interesting dynamic, and we are sure to burn down ATHEL LOREN, so we'll be encountering it at least a little bit more. Anyway, let's see who else needs to move. You two. Really tempted to try this. Really tempted to try this, but let's do whatever else needs to be done first, and then we'll consider trying it. Mr. Shifty, go up here. You're supposed to join Gouger Legbiter, or, well, actually, you're supposed to join Grom, but same thing. Big Thinkin' Steela, guess what you're doing today? It's stealing some big thinking. Try here. I don't really care. Oh, actually, I was thinking about getting a hero up here to see if these guys have any other armies, and it looks like they don't. The big thinking Steela may have failed, but oh, infamy. Huh? Was this always here? Was this always here? I gotta double check a previous episode. What the heck? Huh. I did have to reload an older version of the mod because the update added some stuff, but I gotta double check that. Hopefully nothing else is broken. Well, it's a risky run when playing with mods. Anyway, WAAAGH Finder. You've got a WAAAGH to find still. And as yet, go by the sea, please. Ruglash Rotgut. You're supposed to head towards the other pile of boar boys, so you are going to meet the boar boys up here somewhere. Hopefully they can stop by and grab a few more islands. I don't actually see any on their way, which is a bit of a shame, but what can you do? I mean, I suppose we could send them up around this way to hit the Blessed Dread, who we're probably going to get into a fight with anyway. I'll think about it. We still have to possibly rescue Throg if we are feeling up to it. Alright, let's see what we got in terms of techs. We were, I believe, going to do Gork and Mork. The diplomatic relations plus 20 with all factions should be quite helpful for us, though particularly I wanted for the relations with the other orc factions, mostly because several of them are way, way too far to travel an army down to, and just to beat them up. Not that traveling somewhere just to beat them up is a bad thing from the Orky perspective, but anyway. Now let's do the buildings and then let's attack those dwarfs. Kuran, get you that heap of shiny stuff. Massive Forecal, keep you in building. The Lost Valley, we are going to get the Orky dwellings here, and yes, they'll have a fair few upgrades here as well, but we're working on it. Danest Greenskin Fort, and that's all that we can build here unless I'm mistaken. I mean, I guess we can build the pile of shiny stuff or just wait for the raiden stashes. Just wait. Not a big deal either way. More piles of shiny stuff here. And more public order and more growth everywhere. Marches of Kurun. We probably will no longer need these ditches within the next couple of turns. I just gotta remember that. Though frankly, we have walls basically nowhere right now, so it hardly matters. What are we building here? Yes, upgrade that boss bowl, and yes, build those beast layers. And I guess you're gonna build the raiden stashes as well. Who'da thunk it? You can build... Okay, yes, we're gonna have to wait on that, but we will upgrade the greenskin burrows here. I keep wanting to say barrows. Too much time with the vamps. Pile of shiny stuff or idols? Let's do idols here, I guess. Or we wait and just build the raiden stashes. Nah, still do idols first. These upgrade so quickly that it probably doesn't matter. You have the... Oh, you're already building those, so then we can go for the pile of shiny stuff here as well. Word of Frost, ignored. Black Pit, not so ignored. Boss's Shack and the Boss's Pole when we can get it. And I think nothing else, because this is most likely going to be a military territory. Military-ish. We could build a spider territory. Spider building. It will be a spider territory, though, as well. Anyway, keep a shining stuff for you, Kleinland. Nothing in Fort Berg-Bray, because, well, it's a waste of our time. More greenskin burrows, not barrows. Now let's go for the pile of shiny stuff here, and... What are we missing here? It's a pile of shiny stuff. Alright. Alright, Grave of Quila. Alright, I apparently forgot about you, though not for long. Do we need the Goblin Watchtower at Laguier? I don't know. If this all becomes Skaven territory, we won't need it, but for now, let's keep it. Elf Town, we were going to do capacities with you, so... Shaman's Hut is going to have to take priority because, well, it has priority. Alright, that is about that. So, there's two things we want to see. First of all, are you still... Oh. Okay. Military alliance. I was going to declare war on Reichland and take Marienburg, but looks like Scarby is willing to go straight up military alliance. Now this is both good in the sense that we will have access to his units, but it will also, which I guess is also good, make all the Norskins and Chaos Warrior factions dislike us, because they're not particularly fond of Scarby, which means we're gonna get in some fights with the spiky lads as well, which is all good, because we were gonna send some units and armies up there anyway. May as well keep that up. At least Festus doesn't care about that. World Walkers are willing to go for that military access. Good, we want the defensive alliance with them to have access to their units. Disciples of the Maw are ready for the defensive alliance as well. How many territories do you guys have? So we're about to find out. You have... wait, let me just check. Clan Septic really wants that military alliance, which we could do. Well, Kazarek doesn't like them. I'm gonna wait just because of Kazarek right now, I think. Oh, Clan Pestilence. You are friendly with Sylvania, and how do you feel about the ogres? Well, not too bad. Well, we could do the non-aggression pact for now. And a military access, I guess. We could also fight Clan Pestilence if we really wanted to. I'll think about it. Frankly, the AIs, or these Skaven probably don't stand too much of a chance against us, and I think we'll have more fun fighting the Wood Elves and Kislev and the Forces of Chaos up here than the Skaven, but hey, who knows. Plus, if we go down here, we also have the potential for fighting Clan Moors. Anyway, that's about it, so let's see who you're at war with again. You're at war with Septic. Alright, Septic, give us more of your money. Join war against Carrick Ziflin, and give us the money. Oh, they won't like the military access nearly as much later on, will they? In the sense that once we destroy the dwarves, that'll be their major threat gone. Well, we gotta be careful to not let them take Schilderheim here, because we have nothing to trade them anymore. It's going to be a problem as well. Alright, well, we'll have to try to do our best to take it next turn, though I fear... we wouldn't be able to, probably, from Klesson. I hadn't considered that, but now it's too late to do anything about it. Well, maybe they'll do it for a military alliance, though somehow I doubt it. Anyway, Blorg Pigkissa, move into range, please, right here. And Gorkill. Do we need to do anything with your units, or are we good? Oh, speaking of your units, one more turn. Good. You snide Butlika with those two brand new colossal squigs will be nearby. You're going to go into WAAAGH Begins, and you're going to attack Klesson, which does not have defenses. And thus we'll be facing the army on the field. Fantastic. Let's do the levels. These are dwarfs after all, and it's going to be a difficult time routing them. You have this stuff. Reduce melee defense from the trolls. Kind of don't like that. We could also reduce their melee attack and give them armor and physical resistance. I could certainly use physical resistance and armor. Their attack is all pretty okay. The stone troll's attack will be a little low after that, but it's not going to be horrible. Yeah, you know what, I think I'm much more willing to lose their attack, or a little bit of their attack, than I am willing to lose a little bit of their defense, so slapped on Scrap. This also leans further into them being very tanky. There we go, 90 armor on the Regu trolls now as well. Alright, Snaz Spear Check. Somebody suggested we could still use Aspect of the Dread Knight here to potentially, occasionally, keep our own trolls from routing if we're in a Death Star formation. Certainly true, though probably not as much in a regular formation. Respect the Boss gives us melee defense. Battle Leader gives us melee attack. Oh, well, that'll counteract what we just lost. So let's go Measured Rage, and then start moving towards Battle Leader for you. And your shoe... Oh, I was about to say you should be in the same way. But no. We'll have to wait. Which is okay. Blorg, let's level you up. I can't believe we're still using you. Mostly because I don't want to delete him, because he's been helping. And frankly, until the troll army is maxed out, we're gonna still probably need the help. Just keep making you a stronger fighter, I guess. Drop us to hit harder? Yeah, you don't get enough HP out of Scarred Veteran on that Cave Squig to be worth the effort. You, sir, have now the Curse of the Bad Moon. Let's get that. Don't particularly care for Night Shroud. But perhaps later we could use Night Shroud to get the trolls into combat without them getting hit by ranged stuff. Anyway, that's all not important. What is important is fighting. Here we go. Alright, it looks like every Orc War boss is a boss of few words. I'd actually like to see if WAAAGH makes longer speeches. Hopefully we'll catch that in a little bit. Anyway, looks like it is the column formation map that we've drawn. It does seem to happen pretty much every time on this particular map. And at least one other that I'm very much aware of that we do periodically get, but I imagine it'll also be fixed eventually. Anyway, here come the Black Orc big bosses and the war boss leading the charge into the fray of the enemy dwarfs and trying to engage. I see the miners chucking their blasting charges at our trolls, but actually that seems to have worked to our advantage because the enemy slayers had moved in at the same time, and thus not only are the trolls gonna suffer some fire damage and explosive damage, but the slayers as well, and frankly, the trolls are more resistant to it. And also, the slayers are quite the threat to this particular army. So it's better that they get damaged, even if it costs us a little bit of troll HP. Anyway, it looks like the miners do move in to try to mine the stone trolls. Hit them with their picks, although I don't imagine that that'll be too effective. The rest of our army has moved in up here and engaged the enemy lord, as well as a massive pile of dwarfs, which makes up their central line. There is still a fairly decent contingent of them hanging back, but that's why we have these 2 units of river trolls, all 3 of our units of night goblins, and Dirkit squigs just waiting for their opportunity to strike. As if the enemy doesn't want to commit to all these dwarf warriors, we can wait, as it looks like we are getting the upper hand in the engagement where we currently are while engaged. Hydra doing its thing. Once again, gonna get a few more of these into this army because I like the idea. And it should combine well with those trolls and such. In fact, there's so many different units I wanted to put in this army that I'm not sure what will have to go and what will have to stay. And I guess if we use the Hydras, the problem there is going to... Ooh, nice smack to those Slayers. The problem with the Hydras will be it won't leave us room for Bile Trolls or... Bile Trolls and Ice Trolls, if we can get them on the field. Although, to be fair, I would content myself with just the Bile Trolls, and not necessarily the Ice Trolls, more or less simply because we can't really buff the... Well, we can't buff the Ice Trolls by virtue of not having the red line buffs to them. But the Bile Trolls being single entities, that's not really as much of an issue. At least in my opinion. Anyway, looks like these Slayers and the vanguard of some miners have been destroyed, and now we move into the fray against the remnants of the enemy force. The enemy lord is routing Dirkit squigs, and the various units of Night Gobos are going to enter the fray as well. The enemy also foolishly, rather than using them as a guard force or a personal guard for the enemy lord, have kept their iron breakers all the way back here, which means our 2 units of... Our 2 units of River Trolls are going to hit them. They're also going to be debuffed down to 36 melee attack, hit by 2 units of River Trolls and 2 units of Night Goblins as well. Of course, these are the Iron Breakers, and they're going to be able to hold quite well here. Tough as adamant, but... that won't matter if we can shatter the rest of the army, and by the looks of those leadership bars on every unit banner, that is just about to happen. 90% balance of power in our favor. Enemy lord is running away, shattered. The trolls are destroying everything in their path. This army's getting some decent variety of action as well. Fought some elves, now going to fight some dwarfs, and then afterwards going to switch to some Imperials, and probably rather promptly afterwards to some Chaos Forces and Norskins. And there we go. Though the Ironbreakers were still very much holding, the rest of the army shatters, and the battle very quickly, I might add, is ours. Alright, easy little fight, in fact easier than I was expecting it to be by and large due to that massive vigor loss reduction and how devastating it can be in SFO and how easily it can turn a strong army into a very weak one. We are basically completely unhurt from that, and I think we... Well, obviously we're wait. Yeah, we're gonna occupy the place. Let's see, loot, swindler, I mean, yeah, we only suffered a tiny bit of damage on a couple of units, and those units were already hurt from the previous battle as well. Now, you, sir. No one can hit us from the water, right? Oh, damn, we can't. No. Okay, I was thinking perhaps we could move you close enough to Schinderheim. We could risk it. I don't really care if this army dies. What do you have? You have Beard Connoisseur. Oh, that's funny. Considering we just started fighting the dwarfs. I don't see any other armies nearby. I think we're gonna risk it. You're gonna go into March stance, you're gonna go right towards the non-attrition territory, and hopefully this puts you just close enough to be able to attack it next turn. Hopefully this guy doesn't take it. It is, oh, it's not defended. Ah, he's gonna just free take it, isn't he? Damn. It's free real estate. Well, not much we can do about that. Maybe we'll find something to trade the rats for this, because I would like the Marienburg territory and the nearby territory as well, right up to these ruins where the beastmen and the Skaven, which are rat beastmen, dwell. And oh, I didn't realize the disciples of the Maw were here. Well, that's interesting. I'm willing to bet that... okay, well, the disciples of the Maw kind of force our hand then. Since Scrag is here, it means that by allying with him, the Barrow Legion doesn't like us, so we'll have to acquire undead units for Azag, but we'll have to do it via another lord. Oh well, it's okay. That means we'll just get some more battle variety where we currently are. Can't say that's a bad thing after all. Alrighty, I believe that's it for this turn unless I'm mistaken. Low fightiness on Spike, but he is working on it. Lord not moved? What lord is not moved? Why are you lying? Oh, it's just Doug the Recruiter, yeah. Building upgrade, Garrison Lord, commandment available, yes to camp. Ruckus. We wanted to start the Ruckus, and outpost upgrade available. Well, we do have money now. Alright, fine. Let's upgrade the one at Montanas, and I forgot to immediately build the one with the exiles. So let's build that one. Doomkeep, where's their capital? No, Doomkeep is isolated and definitely not safe. I don't know. Monolith of Bjorkhill, shouldn't it be Bjorkhill Bloody Hand? Why is it not complete? Where the heck is their capital? Where does Scarbrand start? There it is. Monolith of Fator. Oh, it's unwalled. Like, does he have any walled fortresses? Well, this place seems unsafe. Yeah, there's a lot of enemies nearby. I should pick something like right in the middle. Bagayar's fortress, perhaps? I also want to take a look if there's anywhere that will immediately enable us to recruit everything we want. And what we want is support units, and we got the skull cannons and the blood shrines of Khorne here, and frankly better chariots, but yeah. And that's in Monolith of Fator, their capital. We could risk it. They're right beside an enemy, though. Alright, let's just risk it and hope that it doesn't get destroyed. And, oh, it just got sacked. Well, damn. Construction cannot be cancelled. Well, that's just great. Okay, well, I screwed that one up. Should have done probably Black Iron Fort. Yeah, if we have to do it again, we'll do Black Iron Fort. Oh, it's kind of beside these guys. Yeah, not very safe out here, but you know what? Norska doesn't sound like a very safe place, so it's kind of, it kind of makes sense. Anyway, outpost available with the Disciples of the Maw. Probably Gristle Valley is the one least likely to get destroyed. Because it's kind of nestled in the mountains here. So Gristle Valley it is. Construct. And good. Soon we'll have some ogre units, which very well fit in with the work army. And a few of those Khornate units to support us. Anyway, end the turn unless I'm mistaken. And if I am, it's too late to think about it now. Raiding in Castle... Okay, yeah, that's us. Raiding ourselves. Stop raiding yourself. Stop raiding yourself. Alright. A Grimgor, maybe attack this. Nah, we'll have to move to destroy this little faction that we just declared war on. Unless they build up another army and annoy us. Ziflin immediately wants peace. Cute. And they did move their army somewhere. And but where did that army go? And migration will give us less control, which means no migration. Ally begins outpost construction, ally begins outpost construction, ambusher discovered. And they went to Blackstone Tower, which means they could jump down to here if we don't kill them quick. Oh, we could just besiege them there. Oh, these guys didn't take Schindelheim. What the heck? Schilderheim, whatever. Huh. Oh man, there's several choices. We need to take Aelhart. Oh, and this would be the ideal time to besiege it. I just don't think we can do both. Actually, wait. It hasn't been up. Wait. We can do both. You can go here. And you can occupy this for free. Nice. Bogenhofen. Oh, don't tell me Bogenhofen. Ah, it's under the defiled blood grounds. Huh. Maybe we should just abandon this place then. If we'll have everything but Bogenhofen, then we won't have the entire territory. But I guess we just build walls up in these territories. Sort of like an extension of Helmgart and Aelhart and Schilderheim. Maybe that's the way to do it. Either way, don't collect the income here because it's going to not be a particularly happy territory. And Gorkill, then, sir, I would like you to move here. I would like you to engage in WAAAGH Begins with that charge bonus and move to besieging Aelhart. We will see if they are willing to sally out and fight us in the field, and whether they've learned from their mistakes. Though I'm willing to bet they're not willing to sally out. Either way, we'll have to build a ram and some towers to send our limited number of troops over the walls, but mostly just to breach the walls here, because, well, we don't have an easy way of doing it. Alright, next up, Grimgor. Hey, you, sir. What are you doing? It's very tempting to attack you. We can reach the halls of Equos, meaning I guess we move towards them and then we work on these guys after. Nobody better steal that iron from us because we really want that particular resource. Looks like Grimgor's gonna get another battle, and ooh, we got some treekin to hack down. I see the Oak of Ages right there. I wonder if the orcs are able to build anything there. Several factions have a defiled Oak of Ages or burnt Oak of Ages or whatever, and it gives some stuff. I don't see anything for us, but that might not necessarily always be an actual indicator. Mountains are full of Skaven. I wonder how they feel about our nearby allies, because if it's bad, we can destroy them as well. Now, let's check Diplo real quick. Oh, I noticed something. Wait. Kazrak doesn't like something. What do you not like, Kazrak? You don't like our treaties with the Corsairs of Spite. Oh, we'll kill you if you dare to say anything to the Corsairs, because we want their Hydras. Anyway, quick deal. Barrow Legion, sorry, but you're gonna have to die because the ogres don't like you and Grimgor rules them, or he will. And damn, we're at minus 2k now. Okay, we gotta work on our money-making situation. Grimgor, you're gonna fight in a sec. Let's move everybody else though. First, we have already had 2 battles, and hey, Spite, you managed to actually avoid the plague. Well done, Gouger. Wait, how many more turns until Grom is back? 1? Yes, alright, so we gotta get his army up and running. You to Castle Aquitaine, please. I'm going to delete this regular Snotling pump wagon because they don't serve any purpose. If we want, we'll use this, the Flappas or the Flappas or the Spiky Rollers. Spite. You have to move through these territories without catching a plague, so go to Moretta, I guess, which currently doesn't have one. I see the public order is not great. Still due to that Confederation debuff. But, well, we should be able to fix that, actually. Well, minus 6. Not quite fixed, but getting there. At least that fixed our money situation to some degree. Arachnic. I was originally going to have attack the... these guys. This would make for a fantastic battle in the field, but unfortunately, you have to move towards the dwarfs. Meaning you're going to jump here, towards Ziflin, and you're going to quell animosity. Oh, we still have to transfer you one of the Arachnaroks as well. I guess I could have just built one. Yeah, we can build one here if we wanted to. How about you do it, in fact? Well, for now you're busy. Speaking of, you're supposed to meet up with Spite Bloodreaper and transfer him all this stuff so that it can go to Grom's army. So start moving towards him. Nobber. I guess we'll start moving you towards these guys as well. Because we can... Well, you know what? We may as well start raiding them. If we're going to declare war on them anyway. And then perhaps next turn we have you attack this, though... I think that might... Yeah, you can't handle that. We'll need Arachnic to do that. Or Grimgor, but, you know. We'll see. We'll figure it out. And yes, the Colossal Squigs already. Oh, I've been excited to see these guys enter the fray. And Scrap Barding gives you melee defense +8. Yeah, obviously that's the upgrade that we're taking. They have a relatively low melee defense. Their melee attack is quite high, but considering it's a creature that's like 90% mouth, that's hardly surprising. Also Slanesha Giggle. Also, you're going to need to underway stance. This guy can't intercept you, right? There's no way that he's close enough, right? Hey, don't screw me on this game. Go here. Okay, no, we're good. At least we're good for now. And where's Zag Finder and Ruglash? Okay, you still have to be in the north. Where's Zag Finder? You're drawn closer. Closer and closer. Like 3 or 4 more turns and we should sight Wurzag. Alright, big thinking Steela. You got Steelies to steal? Or thinkins to steal? Whatever. Close enough. And... Okay, why is it such a low chance? Well, I guess we have no choice. Go for it. Failure. It's okay, he still has like 7, I think, turns to give that a try. Oglock. Your animosity also needs to be quelled, and you need to move right to there. Fantastic. Oh, we also should keep an eye on his heroes. They have not changed. I don't like that. I wish that these would mill quicker. A little bit tempted by the Choppa Envy, but we charge so much already. It's a waste. Rogue Idol Fairy, right. I almost forgot about you and our 2 new Rogue Idol friends. The big one is... the big one and the little ones, yeah. Although they're probably exactly the same size. Grimgor's quite far from you, though, so we've got still a fair ways to travel. Anyway, I believe that is that for what we've got to do. So, Grimgor, time to fight again. I am not going to bother leveling either of you 2 up, because you'll be fine, I'm sure. Away we go. Pyrrhic Victory, apparently. They do have more elite forces, but they are bound to be... They're bound to have a difficult time because they have the tree to defend rather than a map to spread out in. Either way, should be a fun fight. Away we go. Alright, Grimgor said something, but I couldn't quite catch it that time. Damn. I feel like he is quieter than the... Or, well, I mean, actually, the Orc Lords are generally... They feel quieter than the Lords of other factions. At least to me. Anyway, I'm pretty excited about this particular battle. The garrisoning army alone had something like 8 or 10 or something Deepwood Scouts. So tons and tons of Deepwood Scouts, which are definitely going to do a lot more damage to our Black Orcs than piles of Gladeguard would, like they did when we first fought the Wood Elves in the first battle in this particular episode. That's a lot of ranged attacks potentially coming from every direction and doing plenty of damage, and there's a very decent likelihood that this will be the toughest battle that Grimgor has fought so far. Alright, well, we're going to charge forth. The enemy is smartly blocking off one of these territories or one of these pathways into their settlement with 2 units of Treekin, while the other one is barricaded. The barricades take a long time to bring down, so we're going to try to hack our way through the Treekin as well. And then I'm sure that'll take some time as well. And of course, while the tree can hold Grimgor and his Black Orcs at bay, the enemy will try to focus down our single entities, the big single entities. Looks like all the focus is on the big one thus far. We're actually going to back it off, despite the fact that it has 150 armor and, 20,000 HP. About 30 seconds of concentrated fire from like 3 or 4 units brings it down to half. Can't have that. Absolutely can't have that going down. But damn, yeah. This is already shaping up to be pretty good. The Treekin are still holding, and that's to be expected. From Treekin, a fantastic unit, and so tough, so difficult to shatter, and so difficult to break through. They're like living walls, and they are certainly serving that purpose here. Looks like the Giants are now getting pelted or pincushioned by the enemy range as well, while Grimgor and his Black Orc big bosses and the two Giants try to continue damaging those Treekin. 63 melee defense on him, which is at least one of the things keeping them alive. Over here we have more of a pitched battle going on as Grotzlik Gitstompa, our legendary Orc Shaman, who will certainly be entered into the annals of the legendary characters that are being recurring characters throughout these campaigns. He's leading the other Black Orcs forward, despite being a shaman, but, you know, he's an Orc shaman, so he's a fighty shaman, or fighty caster, I guess. Just like vampires, also fighty casters. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Leading here while Grimgor leads over on this side. We need to try to engage more enemy range units. We've seen how much damage our biggin has taken, and I'm sure the Giants are starting to take as well. We can't have that happening from every direction, so we're going to separate as many of our Black Orc blobs, or many units, as possible, and just engage every single enemy range unit we can. In a war of attrition, we should be victorious as long as the enemy can't fire too much. Alright, looks like some Wildwood Rangers working together with Dryads. Do have to be wary of the Wildwood Rangers in particular, as they are armor-piercing, and a fairly decent unit in melee combat. They are starting to take damage, but that is primarily by virtue of the spells cast by Grotzlik. As, yeah, you can see the bodies of plenty of Black Orcs which fell to those two-handed blades of theirs. On the bright side, though, it looks like a decent pile of our units have moved in and are blocking up plenty of those enemy range units from firing. The Immortals are leading the charge into this portion of the battlefield and are trying to chase down more range units and are to be followed by the Crimson Killers and whatever other unit of Black Orcs can make it through. Looks like a new unit of Treekin has arrived to continue blocking us off. One of them has shattered or has been reduced down to a single unit, but Grimgor and the war bosses and the Giants are still trying to break through this living wall, which is fantastic. Gotta appreciate this. If Durthu was in here as well, well, let's just say it would be a lot scarier. Finally, it looks like the Treekin are starting to break. The enemy is gonna send in a few more units. One of the Giants angrily tries to go after the Treekin to make sure that it doesn't come back, or perhaps to rip its limbs off and make a nice club out of it. I'm sure the Treekin and Treemen would make better clubs than whatever tree the Giant is currently using. Probably a little bit tougher. Alright, more and more Black Orcs are streaming into the enemy settlement now, trying to make their way further up the ramps and towards those enemy range units. Of course, we continue taking range fire as we move everywhere we go, and we can see the HP bars. The Immortals are down to half HP, these shielded Black Orcs down to half. We've got some very badly hurt biggins here, and a couple of badly hurt Black Orcs as well. The bad to the Choppas, though they did get plenty of kills by the looks of it, have gotten themselves down to 40% HP. Two more Black Orc units down to 20%, though of course their HP doesn't quite match the entity losses, so they should be able to recover if they don't take too much more. But it is starting to get dangerous. We will run out of HP on our Black Orcs eventually. And that's how the enemy might screw us over here. Especially if another enemy just after the battle is over tries to capitalize on this and attacks us while we defend the place. Anyway, continuing to make our way forward, looks like Grimgor has finally found the enemy lord, a spell Weaver of Life, who obviously has absolutely no kind of chance against Grimgor and Gitsnik. Another of those shields of thorns coming down, though it's a little bit too dark to see what the heck is going on over there. Barricade about to, or this is actually a platform, about to go down. And those range units upon it will get overwhelmed by the Black Orcs. And hopefully hit from several sides from various units of Black Orcs. They cannot escape either, as they get hacked apart, and now it's time for us to act as a living wall to a wall of metal and tusks and teeth, rather than of a tree. I'm gonna have to prefer our wall. Very nice, very nice. So those guys ain't escaping. The Spellweaver is attempting to escape, and Grimgor is now trapped, or more or less blocked by more Dryads, though I'm sure he'll break his way through them relatively quickly. Alright, finally time to move Dibbigan back in so that it can't, or it probably won't, get focused down. We had a nice little duel with a Mildra Squidfildra here, Squidfidla, rather, against the enemy Glade Lord, but because he got reinforcements we had to back her off, and are now sending a Black Orc unit with shields at them. The Immortals units managed to see off 3 or 4 enemies here and are now good to go, and are going to charge forward, and it looks like the battle is turning in our favor, though once again you can see that the HP is still quite problematic. And Shriekin are trying to charge the big end, and it's just oh, the way it turned towards him. Alright, you guys sure you want to charge that thing? It's been pretty angry about getting pin-cushioned. There we go. Oh, I love that animation, though not particularly effective against Shriekin in particular. Nice smack, and down goes at least one of them. I don't think the other will be back. Alright. And very nice, continue making our way forward. Damn, the Axes of the Dark are down to like 20% HP. Everybody just keep on charging forward. Gotta get those enemy range units to stop firing. Yeah, this is really fun. And you gotta love taking the tree territories with melee. And there we go, finally we've done enough damage. The enemy army will rout, though it did cost us a Pyrrhic victory, which, you know what, earned. Absolutely earned, as the enemy certainly dealt their damage to us, but I think we should be able to recover fairly well, as we did manage to retreat a few of our Black Orc units, the ones that were the most badly hurt, when they were getting pin cushions, such that they didn't lose too many of their entities. Ooh, alrighty, a Pyrrhic victory. You know, I don't usually enjoy attacking the big old wood elf trees wherever they are, mostly because they oftentimes, if not almost always, turn out to be a disappointment by virtue of the fact that you can just destroy them with range and, in particular, artillery. Usually it's too easy, but by virtue of the way that Grimgor's particular army is structured, it does make for these really, really fun battles in the big old trees. So I'm expecting some good times up ahead as we destroy ATHEL. Maybe even tougher battles as well, as there will probably be more elite trees, Durthu and such, to consider as well, and that would be a nice battle with Durthu versus Grimgor. Yeah, alright, how did we do? So the Immortals did 200 kills and 22k damage, a little bit less on the Crimson Killers this time around, and 276, damn. And it's Get to the Choppas again. Huh, looks like they've been the standout named unit in this particular episode, I guess. Surprisingly, or perhaps not surprisingly, the 2 units of Biggins did well as well. Perhaps they... I don't remember, are they slightly faster than the Black Orcs? They did surprisingly well. Good job to them. Anyway, 230 kills on the little Grimgors and nearly 200 on the Bat Swatters as well, so fantastic job. All of you. Actually a little bit less work from our Orc Shaman this time around, mostly because the enemy didn't really blob up all that much with all those range units, and again another advantage due to that. Anyway, we're gonna occupy the place, and ooh, 25k to sack it, though. Oh, that is sorely tempting. 25, no, yeah, no, we have it. It's 25k. I mean, That would be crazy not to. And hey, we got another one of these things. Research rate plus 40, hit points plus 10% all characters. Armies replenish in foreign territory. They kind of already do because we have the diplomatic relations plus 50 with Greenskins. Ooh, I like that. Oh man, but I also really like the hit points plus 10% for all characters. Particularly great for Grom and for Grimgor. And to a lesser degree for WAAAGH. Kind of meh for WAAAGH and Skarsnik. They don't have the same kind of HP pools that those three have, but it's all characters, so it's not just them. It's also every one of our war bosses. Oh, and the Catchweb Spider Shrines as well. Really nice, but 50 diplomatic relations with Greenskins. The thing about this is it'll become useless once we've confederated everybody. But if we fail to... I mean, I guess we still have the option of just sailing an army over and defeating them. And while... Okay, wait, that's not quite true. Skarsnik is really far, but we can just declare war on everybody who Skarsnik is friends with. We can also build buildings to actually get diplomatic relations with Greenskins. It's tempting. Is it as tempting as this is good? You know what? Most of our characters are so strong already that we probably can avoid this. I think I'd rather try to get confederations earlier in the name of a better campaign. I think if I wasn't uploading, I would have chosen the HP, but I'd like to get the other legends on the field. Occupy Halls of Echoes, we'll take it at tier 3. And frankly, we don't actually care about building it up all that much. Camp Ruckus, please. Because this is an elven territory, and most likely we'll just be using it for capacities and various kinds of towers. So, yeah, not a big deal either way. Go for Boss's Tent, immediately go for Idols, and then immediately go for... I guess Gabo Tents. I was gonna do perhaps... Well, we could still use the Raiden stashes. Because they give us income from post-battle loot, they're useful everywhere. Anyway, what else do we have to do in terms of moving? Nothing. Did we build the buildings? No. But you know what? I think this time around I'll do the building between the episodes so that we save a little bit of screen time, then we can end the turn at the start of next episode instead. I think that will be a better use of our time, let's say. Anyway, with that, then I am going to call this episode here. Hope you guys enjoyed those 3 battles. I certainly did. Next time, we'll start off the episode by ending the turn and probably looping back around with Grimgor to strike at the Ghosts of Glan Boreal, destroy this faction. We will probably also destroy Carrick Ziflin and start the attack on the Barrow Legion, taking all of this territory to be ours. And once the ATHEL LOREN is cleansed and all of these mountain territories are ours as well, we can freely send armies beyond our lands, which will be protected from nearly every side, to do whatever they please. In fact, we could even send a couple armies this way through the mountains to deal with Aranessa if we want to fight some Vampire Coast, which we haven't fought a lot in this particular campaign. And just for some variety, send some armies up north to fight Slaneshi and to fight various Chaos forces which don't like us, like Sigvald, for example, because we're friendly with Skarbrand. I think Skarbrand and, well, if Grimgor and Skarbrand didn't immediately try to kill each other, they'd probably get along well. Insofar as, you know, Grimgor and Skarbrand can be said to get along well with anybody, but immediately trying to kill each other is kind of getting along well with regards to them. Anyway, I digress. More orcs to come, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially to Threshold. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.